The number one reason people get visa denials is proof of funds, especially if you're applying from Africa. If you're applying from Africa, that already puts you on the disadvantaged list before the visa officer. So he really, really wants to prove that you've got the financial muscle to carry you through your travel plans. Whether you're applying for a study visa, a visitor's visa, or even a work visa, you have the responsibility to prove to the visa officer that you've got the financial muscle to carry you through your travel plans. Welcome back to my channel, and if you're viewing me for the first time, my name is Njay-travels. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back here. I talk about travel tips, all the good stuff, work opportunities, scholarships, and all those good stuff that would help you transition abroad very easily. If you're already watching this video, I'm sure you're watching it because you have the ambitions of traveling and you're just trying to gather information. So yes, you are in the right place because these are the kind of things that I intend to stuff you with. And if you're already feeling this topic, hit the like button for me there. Don't forget to use the comment section where you need to use them. And if you haven't subscribed yet to this channel, please do subscribe to the channel and make sure your notifications are open so that each time I upload videos, you don't miss this very valuable information that I'll be throwing out here often and on. I love it when you share these videos with your friends, your families, your contacts, and your circles. Having said that, let's get started. I live in the Republic of Ireland, and when I traveled to Ireland as a registered nurse, I did get a job in Ireland, and my employer were responsible for a whole lot. Like literally, they did everything from my flights to my initial accommodation to even my work permit. My employers did sponsor for it. So I had a letter from my employer to categorically state everything that they will be taking care of, and with regards to my expenses, I had written that I worked in Nigeria because that was very important to also prove that I had experience in the job that I was applying for abroad. That was important to immigration. I had also put my bank statements from back home, 6 months back statement, to also show that yes, you're actually working for that particular employer that you had gotten the application letter and all of that. So a whole lot of paperwork really. And then I had my pay slips as well, 3 months pay slips from my employer back in Nigeria. Now, if you're applying for a visa, proof of funds is one sensitive part that you really want to pay attention to and ensure that you're able to prove to the visa officer that you have the financial capacity to carry you through your travel plans. There are so many ways to do this, and this would have to do with your personal circumstances, your application. Like, it's very specific to everybody, and that's one big mistakes people make. I have had a lot of people tell me, oh, but the other person, his uncle sponsored him, but you haven't gotten the whole story and the whole picture, and you're not in his circumstances. Like, there are so many things that makes your application unique to yourself, and these are the things that you need to pay attention to. A lot of people have asked, can I sponsor myself? Why not? If you're gainfully employed, there's no reason why you can't sponsor yourself. Now, it's important to say that traveling is something that you plan. It's not something that you just wake up and next month you want to travel. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying people haven't done that before, but most of the times it's good that you think about it and you have a lot of time, a good time to plan for it, in terms of putting your documentation together and saving money and all of that. So yes, you want to start saving, and my advice would be, even if people are going to be supporting you or helping you, always be able to show that you are taking some responsibilities in your travel. Yes, sometimes you can have a co-sponsor, but then it's always good that you take part in that responsibility of your sponsorship. Okay, so self-sponsorship is one of the ways people can sponsor themselves, and that way, if you're sponsoring yourself, that means, like I said, you're probably a business person. like your business is doing well, right? And you have a good financial strength. That way, you will be stating what you do. If it's a registered business, you want to put in your registration documents. It's good if you register your business, you can put it out there. But I know that in Africa, a lot of people do businesses that are not registered. But I don't think that would be a problem for you when you're applying for a visa if you can state what you do and you can clearly bring supporting documents. For example, let's say if you sell parts or something, if you import them, you want to put this document, you want to put if you do real estate, for example, you want to show how you've been doing your transactions, like whatever you can do, right, to prove that this is consistently what you do or not. But then, like I said, if your business is a registered one, you also want to bring your CAC documents and those kind of stuff that would further support that yes, you are truly the owner of this business. And then on top of that, you can put up your identification document to further support that yes, you are truly the owner of this company. Okay, you want to put in your appointment letters. If you had recent promotions, or that or shows what you currently earn, you want to put in such documents. And as well, you want to put in your pay slips to show what you recently earned in that company, and as well as your bank statement to show the flow that you've consistently been receiving wages from this employer. Okay, so yes, it is very possible to sponsor yourself, but always pay attention to the financial requirement of the country that you're traveling to. Another very important way that you can get your financial sponsorship is through scholarships. Okay, scholarships. If you have applied for a scholarship, maybe you're applying for a study visa, for example, and you've gotten a scholarship, you want to put in all those documents that shows what scholarship and what your scholarships are covering. Say, for example, if you have a tuition fee of $15,000 or $20,000, but you've got a scholarship of $25,000, that means you don't really have a lot to do, okay, from your side to be proven. Okay, if you have a letter and the school has given you a letter to state categorically how much your scholarship covers, and also what your scholarship covers, and what they'll be offering you. For example, if they are going to be giving, some schools will give you health insurance, for example, if you're going for study. Some will not. So these letters from the school need to categorically state all of this. Now, what these things have not covered is what you want to making a cover for. Okay, for example, sometimes even when you have scholarships, you still do have a responsibility to still prove that you have the capacity, because sometimes the scholarship may not necessarily be covering. If you sit down and do your math and look at what you're required to have, like what your tuition fee is, what your living expenses are, you see that the scholarship fee may not necessarily. So it's up to you to actually look at what is peculiar to your situation. If it's not covering, then you have some cover to do. That means from your side, you need your account statement and all of the proofs as well that you can succor the shock that the scholarship cannot cover. Now, mind you, always keep in mind for what we call ancillary expenses. Okay, you can call it miscellaneous expenses or what have you. Okay, so say for example, you're going into a new country, you're going to be taking buses, right? You're not going to be flying to school every day. Yes, you're going to be taking buses. For example, there are schools I know that I would actually give you a bus pass. It's all in their package when you pay for your fees, especially private universities. I know do that a lot. There are schools that would not give it to you. So put all of this in mind, right? And besides, I mean, you're just going to a new country. You don't really, you're not there, so you don't really know what may come up, right? So you need some little extra money. Okay, so I would always recommend that you have more than. That way, the visa officer is really convinced that. I'm not saying that when you have just what they're looking for, that you're going to get denied visa. No, that's not what I'm saying. But if it is possible for you to even put more than, it's always better. Okay. And one thing that I really would love to advise you, right, is if somebody is sponsoring you for your proof of funds, know who you choose for your proof of funds. Make sure it's somebody that would carry you, or that will carry your matter on their head all the way. Because if you're applying for visa, for example, now I know we're all praying for an approval. Yes, that's what we want. But the truth is, sometimes you can get a denial. Sometimes you may have to apply for a second time. Yeah, that's the reality. Okay. And so imagine that you have somebody who is your sponsor. Say, for example, your auntie or your uncle or whoever they are, right? And for some reason you've gotten a denial, and then you have to maybe appeal your visa application, or you have to make another application. And then while you're doing this person who has been your sponsor is not willing to do that again for you. He's not really ready to bring up his documents to support you this second time. Now, what are you going to do? You're probably going to get a new sponsor. That's already a red flag, right? That's already a red flag. I mean, this second time, the visa officer is looking at you and like, oh, so this person that you claimed was this and that and that and that was ready to jump into the blue sea on top of your matter, just because you got a denial, like they are no longer there, and boom, from the air you have another sponsor. That's already a red flag. Okay, so pay attention to that when you're choosing somebody. As much as possible, you want to pay attention to whom you're choosing to be your sponsor. You want to make sure that it's somebody whom will be ready to travel all the way with you if it doesn't go out as planned, right? So pay attention to that. Now, also pay attention to dependent. If you're going with dependent, for example, if you're going with study visa, okay? So on top of all of this money that I've been mentioning, say having your tuition, your living expenses, and even your ancillary, or what I call miscellaneous fees. Okay, that said, it could be anything. Like, it could be anything. You need to have some money on top of that, maybe even $3,000 or $4,000 for ancillary. Ancillary may not necessarily be written there for you on your admission letter or anywhere, but I mean, this is common sense, right? You're going into a new country. Anything can happen. Anything, just about anything can happen. So you need some extra funds, okay? And then when you're making all this mathematics, pay attention to whether you have dependents or not, okay? If you have children, 1 child, 2 children, 3 children, and and you have a spouse as well, maybe you intend that your spouse will be traveling with you, whether it's a he or a she, and say, for example, you have a study visa and they don't have. So I know that the plan is that when they go there, they're going to be working. But hey, at this stage of visa application, the visa officer is assuming that this person is not working. So you have to put all of this into consideration, that you need to also prove that you are able to cater for all of these people. Yes, don't assume that, oh, the immigration officer should know that, oh, when we go there, or my wife is going to start working, or my husband is going to... No, they are not thinking like that, right? So the onion is on you to prove to them that you will be able to cater for your wife or your husband or your kids if you have kids. So okay, I think I've talked a lot already on POF, but I tell you, POF is something that I can't be sitting down here to make or to say everything about POF. There's a whole lot. There's a lot of dimension. Like, I'll be doing subsequent videos. I would term this POF 1 because I'll be doing 2 and even 3 because I have lots of questions around POF that are peculiar to people's circumstances, and I'll be revisiting these questions, and I'll try to answer them here. Maybe they may bring clarity to people. I would read out these people's experiences, and I'll try to advise or give my honest opinions, kind of do a Q&A. All right. I'd like to stop this video here because I wouldn't want it to be too lengthy. Okay, so I'll see you guys next time. Now remember to give this video a like if you feel like you've got value from from this video. If you have questions, please bring them on the comment section. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, guys, please do subscribe to this channel. You can't afford to be missing all of the very informative stuff that I'll be putting up on this channel. Make sure your notifications are on so that each time I put up videos, you are first to be notified. And kindly share this video with your friends and families. Okay, I'm kind of losing my voice. I have a bit of cough, but that's okay. I hope you have a lovely day ahead, and I will see you next time in my next video. Bye.